Welcome to episode 6 of the Wheelhouse. I'm your host, one of your hosts, Andrew O. With me this week, Sterling Gavinski.
Oh man, hey, what's up?
And Gus Rives.
Hello.
Did that throw you off?
Yeah, a little bit. I was expecting you to throw me off in the other way.
Yeah.
But you did me first.
Yeah, no one knows what we're talking about. Anyway.
Yeah, this is take 2.
Today's Leap Day, February 29th. Moving on.
Moving on.
Next.
The Oscars was yesterday.
The Oscars were yesterday or was yesterday? It's one event. The Oscars was yesterday. Yeah.
What?
No, you're right. You're right. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said anything.
No, I get it. Anyway, the Academy Awards was held last night.
I didn't watch.
I didn't watch.
I didn't watch either. I saw some people post about it on social media a lot.
Congrats, Leo.
Yeah.
What
Everyone will shut up about it.
What did you say last week?
I hope he didn't win.
Oh, why? I forget.
Because I wanted everyone on the internet to be sad. So.
Oh man.
Well, unfortunately, he did win for Best Actor.
Yeah. No, it's fine. I don't
Revenant.
I don't care.
Yeah, he looked pretty cold, so I think he deserves it.
Yeah, he did look pretty cold in that movie. So.
Yeah.
Best Picture, Spotlight, which I've seen. I think is excellent.
I'm pretty hyped about that. I've heard so many good things, and that's cool that it won. So, more reason for me to go see it.
And apparently, it's like historic that the fact that it only won one other Oscar, and it won Best Picture.
Oh.
Like all the big categories, like acting, directing, writing. I think it got a writing Oscar, but it's still usually something that wins Best Picture.
Yeah, it was like best adaptation of a screenplay.
Yeah, it does usually
like
nabs a couple other big ones like acting or directing, but There was a prediction that Revenant would take it, which would be the triumvirate between director, Best Actor, director, and picture.
Yeah, I thought that was going to happen.
Same.
Revenant.
Yeah. But have you guys been hearing anything about Chris Rock and his monologue and all that stuff?
I haven't watched it yet, but I really want to.
What? No, I haven't heard a thing about it. What did he say?
I only know a little bit, but yes, it was suitably vicious and very biting in his commentary on the race issue. But apparently there was a sequence that included like 3 Asian kids that was racist.
Wait, what?
What?
Again, I don't want to speak too much about it because I didn't see the bit, but there was some hubbub about this one sequence that portrayed Asians in a poor light. So,
man,
I don't know. We can see that right after we finish the show, I guess.
Wait, I want to see more categories up there. Click on that. I think best cinematography. Go to that. It's over on the left.
Okay.
Yeah, right there. Okay.
Revenant.
Okay. He's won 3 years in a row, and I think that's the first time it's ever happened.
Emmanuel?
Yeah, I remember seeing something about that. Lubezki. He also did cinematography for Birdman.
Yep.
And gosh dang. I was looking at this morning.
You saying this is the first time you won?
I think this is the first time anyone's gotten 3. The same person has gotten 3 best cinematography Oscars in a row.
Oh.
So whatever came out in 2014. Gravity.
Oh
my god. Yeah. Okay. So.
Oh.
And the last 2 were the same best director. So.
Wow. Picks good projects.
Yeah.
Or good projects pick him.
I was about to say, it looks like Alejandro wanted to work with him twice in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
for probably very good reasons.
Known for using like natural lighting and stuff and making everything pretty.
That's what I heard was impressive about The Revenant was the visual aspects.
Yeah.
And Tom Hardy apparently.
And Tom Hardy, but he didn't win.
Yeah. Was that best supporting actor?
Yeah, and the Spielberg movie.
Bridge of
Spies.
Yeah.
Interesting. Hateful Eight wasn't up for like much at all, was it? It was
a score. It was considered a snub by some.
Interesting.
Best score though, that score is amazing.
The Hateful Eight score?
Oh yeah, Ennio Morricone. He's worked with Sergio Leone and did all the scores for the spaghetti westerns, and has written so many iconic songs. It shows that he is in no way slowing down because the score to Hateful Eight is amazing. Cool. Yeah.
Did you hear there's some Sam Smith trauma?
Trauma or drama?
Both.
Trauma. Oh my god.
He won Best Original Song, right, for Spectre.
Yep.
And he apparently went up there, not only he performed, like, they do the Best Original Song performances or whatever, and he accepted the award, and he said something about how he was the first openly gay man to win an Oscar ever.
Yeah.
and that was proven to be immediately not true. And then he said like he regretted that, and like the performance was like part of the worst night of his life, and all this weird stuff. God. Yeah, so I don't know anything.
Didn't
about
he
that
come
either,
out relatively recently before this?
I probably
not like
2 years ago or something.
Yeah. It's been a while, but
yeah. But still, it's like, jeez.
Yeah.
Just Google it. Just put in openly gay actors. It's one Oscar.
You're about to go on stage like at the Oscars. You can
backstage, like Wikipedia. Yeah.
Anyway, that's enough Oscar talk. It's been like 2 weeks by the point that this podcast comes out. So
yeah.
Oh well.
Anywho,
we have a very interesting episode today.
Yeah.
Which will be the latter half, or the latter fourth, or the latter eighth, because the reviews we have, I think we're going to have a lot to talk about.
Definitely.
So, disagree. Not much.
You want to fight?
If you're new to the Wheelhouse and you're like, hey, some guy told me to listen to this wacky podcast, I don't know what it's about. Here, I'll tell you what it's about. Every week, we each recommend a piece of media that the other two have not experienced. We go out, watch, listen, or play these recommendations, come back, and review them. This episode, we have something a little different, but we'll first go with our normal reviews, starting with Device 6, my pick.
Device 6.
Which is an iOS puzzle adventure game. I said it's one of my favorite games of all time because I think there's nothing like it. It takes complete use of the medium, and it can't exist anywhere else. The writing's off the chart. The style is amazing. I love it. What did you guys think?
Yeah, I totally agree with the fact that it could not possibly happen on anything else other than iOS.
I'm waiting for the drop.
Right.
Wii U. Good done with the little touchscreen.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for the butt.
So no, I don't have a butt. I'll save my butts for later. I've got a list of complaints and a list of non-complaints.
Oh my God.
That's how I put it. But actually, I really enjoyed the game, and I love the story so much.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of things for me that got in the way. And I'm sure we can go deeper into that in a second. But that's the summary of what I think.
Okay.
Playing through this game, it became clear to me that this is an Andrew game and not a Gus game.
What does it mean, Andrew game?
These are the kind of games that you like.
Like Frog Fraction, the hateful
Frog Fraction.
You said it.
Yeah,
not us.
Yeah, exactly. Now he's saying it. But no, like like this game is unique in its presentation and whatnot. And that's my favorite part about it was the way it was. I mean, just how you go through the game. You're just swiping and reading through text, and it makes you turn your phone, which Sterling didn't like. I was fine with it for the most part.
Millennials too lazy to turn their phones.
Why is that such a big deal? Like,
it's not that I'm too lazy to. I'm turning my phone. I've got my headphones plugged in, right, and I'm like having to like climb around the little headphone jack, and I'm like having to like turn my head sometimes, turn around, look in the mirror. I was in a library when I was playing this game, and I had to go to the bathroom to play that part.
Yeah, that was.
Well, I love stuff like that.
It's definitely cool.
It'd have been cool if I was at
like
home
aspect,
and I could have just gone into like my bathroom and looked in the mirror.
That's what I was starting to think. I don't know. So the game is like set up in lots of chapters, and it took like 2 hours maybe. And to me, it felt like something that I would have liked to play in multiple sittings, possibly.
Yes.
Like maybe in a car ride or two.
I wish I didn't have 3 days to finish this game. I probably would have enjoyed it a little more if I just played it at my own pace. But,
yeah, exactly. For me, the doing it in one sitting thing was kind of stressful. First of all, because I got so frustrated
with the puzzles.
The puzzles were ridiculous. I love the tulips puzzle.
Yeah,
I thought that was like my favorite puzzle. The whole thing. That one was so fun, and the bear one was super awesome.
Yeah,
and that one was kind of scary too.
Yep,
it's like super creepy.
What was the tulip one again?
That's the one where you had to put on like you get this little mask.
The Venetian mask.
Oh yeah. That was cool. Yeah,
I like that. That could have been its own game.
Yeah, honestly. I think that is my favorite chapter because I love that it does have that like Alice in Wonderland aesthetic with the Hatter and the well.
Yeah,
stuff like that. But
my least favorite was the funeral one.
Is that the one with the
chapter 4, an inverted funeral? The
sheep. That was the hardest one.
Yeah,
probably.
That's why it's my least favorite.
Is that the one with like there's like 3 different puzzles and you have to...
Yeah.
Oh, God, that was torture.
And this was on me, I admit, but when I was trying to put in the puzzles at the end, I didn't realize I had the screen the wrong way. I was holding it the wrong way.
Oh, my
God. I kept putting it in, and I was like, are you kidding me? How could it not be this? And yeah, it took me like 5 minutes to realize, Got to flip it around. But yeah, so I thought the puzzles were interesting.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And frustrating. It was cool. So chapter 1.
Yes. Awakening.
My biggest problem with this game, for me, is that, and it's the entire point of the game is that it's drawn and it's pushed forward by text.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I can't like sit and read for long periods of time. I just kind of zone out after a while. But this game, you need to pay attention to everything that you read. And so the first chapter, I was just going through, and I wasn't really like hanging on to the words or anything, like the orange painting, and it has 2001 written in the center of it. Yeah. I didn't even like register that, and I just went along with it. And then I got to like the puzzle, and then I was like, "What?"
Yeah, it's like where red and yellow meet.
Yeah, yeah.
Color
in between hope and lies.
Yeah. Which I saw that one. That one was really easy. I thought.
I knew that there was going to be something with that. I was looking for a number. I didn't realize. I was like, "Oh wait, it's spelling out 5." But
for me, I love that mechanic where generally all the levels are set up where you read and follow the story and you move through the space of the game, and you run into every single clue of how to solve the puzzle. It's until you get to the end where you're given something or shown what exactly you need to get past that you go back and you go, okay, I remember, interacting with these things. Now I need to see in the context of what this puzzle is, how it's going to solve it. I love that.
Yeah. I can't fault them at all. There wasn't like any situation where I was like, they set up the chapter poorly and that the solution was impossible to find because of that. Did you use a guide, Sterling, did you say?
So I used a walkthrough on the funeral one. Yeah, sorry. That one gave me like trouble. I was playing through that, and I got to the part where you have like those 3 little different buttons. There's like a house one and like a link one or whatever, link test one, and one other one. And I went back for a while, and I was like scrolling around, and I was hanging out with the sheep, looking at the screen, and I was like, maybe I should try all these different shapes on the screen and all this stuff. And after a while, I was just like, I don't have time to keep trying this one over and over.
Hanging out with the sheep.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Is that Derwin speaking? Anyway, Gus, guide?
Yes. On chapter 4. Because I was in the same situation. I was just annoyed. And so,
I'm sorry.
But with that being said, so I'm not crazy about this game, but I think it's a well-made game, an
Definitely.
Andrew game that people like Andrew would enjoy.
Sure.
But Andrew said something at lunch today. He said
really?
that as he played it again, he was enjoying it less.
Yeah. Kind of breaks my heart because I'm going through it and I'm like, man, I love these mechanics and how you interact with the interface, but like, I know all the solutions to these puzzles.
Oh yeah, it's definitely not replayable. I would say.
Well, for me, this is the 3rd time I've played it for the show. Wow. Second time, I still loved it. I did have some distance, some time that had passed since I last played it, and also with the story, which is really enigmatic, and still by the end, you're still kind of like confused exactly what it means. You do get a little bit more pieces filled in the more you play.
When was this game released?
2013, I believe.
2013.
Okay, it's pretty recently.
What did you get out of the story, Sterling?
The story? Okay, so at the end, I believe...
Spoilers. Anyway,
spoilers. Thank you.
Go play this magnificent game. Don't listen to these guys.
I really like Chapter 5 and 6. Like the ending ones. 5 is the show one, right?
With Jonathan Ang.
Yeah, that was great. And there's like that original song in there and all that.
I love 6 because there's no puzzles.
Yeah, I was surprised by it. And is 6 the epilogue or is it
it goes
6 and then epilogue?
Yeah.
Okay, I liked 6 and the epilogue as well. So you're going through, and the guy with the bowler hat, who's been like, I guess, stalking you from afar, possibly. You're not sure if he's watching you. You get to a point where Anna, who's the character you are reading.
Yes.
This is where it gets a little crazy.
Yeah.
So Anna is going on this journey.
Yeah.
You are reading this journey. And then Anna discovers she comes across some sort of control room where she starts reading her own journey as well. So And also between chapters, there's like a survey that implies the game you're playing.
I love those surveys.
Yeah, they're hilarious.
They're so much fun.
The game that you're playing is a game, right? Is a piece of technology. So there's that first level, and then there's the level in which Anna is, I guess, a fictional character, but then also you're playing as Anna, who is reading about herself at that one point. So that part kind of blew my mind a little bit, a little confused. And then this guy who's been stalking her or watching her, and somehow has to do with the whole device program, kills her, and she kind of comes to peace and smokes her cigarette at the end, and he just kind of shoots her.
I love that epilogue, how you're scrolling through in that blood splatter effect.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, I love that. But Gus, story-wise, what did you get out of it?
So we are all Annas, right?
Yeah.
So you're playing. It's implying that you're gonna die. At the end of this game, player 249. When I originally started playing this game, I was perplexed by the number 249. Why would they choose that number? Or was I the 249th person to play this unknown
That's
game?
what I thought the very first time. I was like, what?
But yeah, you figure it out as you go along, and I thought that was really cool.
It's still not completely clear. Like, I don't know. I'm still kind of like, it's still nebulous exactly what the motivation of this corporation hat is.
That's my biggest question.
Yeah. And all I got from this time was that they're creating a database of all the collective knowledge of all humans. Remember in chapter 6, she goes to the obelisk thing at the end, that supercomputer?
Yep.
Speaking of 2001, I guess these guys love it because they're sort of a reference how she sees this obelisk and she starts dancing in front of it in a primitive manner. 2001 Space Odyssey, the monkeys see the obelisk, and that, gives them knowledge to, evolve and use tools.
This ball thing, this device is all-knowing and all-powerful.
Yeah.
And it's man-made, right?
Yeah, so it's like a database of all the knowledge that they've accumulated. The way they do that is through this system with the devices, where they deliver a doll to someone, knocks them out, they wake up, and they're hooked up to this system of multiple devices where their thoughts and actions are transmuted into words, which you, the player, is experiencing through.
And at the end of the game, you've earned enough points to get a doll delivered to your house. Which
means there's some other person on Earth who will be playing the game and controlling your life.
Yeah.
Supposedly.
Okay. Supposedly.
Wow. I wanted the shirt.
Yeah, no, I saw that. I was like, ooh, could I play it again? Get more points?
Like that frog faction system of buying stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah, except good, hopefully.
Yeah, I love that ending. But this takes me to my non-complaints section.
Okay.
Visuals, awesome.
That aesthetic, opening credit sequence.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
I like how you can when you're sliding along the pictures, you kind of can look at them from different angles and stuff.
Yeah.
And there's all that depth.
There's
and stuff.
that parallax
really
effect.
Cool.
It's cool.
And then the sound, sonic storytelling, was mind-blowing. I played the first basically 3/4 of the game with my terrible pair of headphones, which only one works, and then I played the last half at work with a nice pair of headphones, nice pair that I got to use from work, and it sounded great. There's footsteps and all music, changes when you get closer or farther away from the source, all that stuff. Story was awesome. Bear puzzle, tulip puzzle, love them. Yeah. It's deep.
The only part of the sound design that I had a problem with, and it's a cool idea. I don't remember if it happens multiple times or if it just happens once. But so you're scrolling down the screen. It's when she's talking to a guy who's trapped in
the Hatter in the well.
Yeah, and so when I was scrolling down, he kept saying his lines before I would get to them and whatnot.
Yeah, that happened to me too.
I mean, if I were to know about that, I could have just scrolled at a certain pace. But yeah, so that was the.
But I think overall, it's kind of mind-boggling imagining how they sort of play test it, where they have to kind of anticipate, okay, the average player will probably read at this speed, will get to this point at this, time. We need to trigger this sound, and hopefully they'll get to the next sequence in that amount of time. It's really interesting how...
It's a very impressive game.
Put it together,
I can say that.
Oh, I love the little spiraling words at the end.
I was about to say that. Yeah, that's so cool.
That's great.
So cool.
So, cool game.
Very
overall.
Cool game, yeah.
And like I mentioned before, one of my favorite developers, Simogo, they've made a bunch of other games, and I've played most of them.
Is this the best?
Yes. in my opinion.
Would you still put this game in your favorites?
Yes. What?
Well, you said you started liking it less. I would throw that game out of there.
Maybe it's gone down from
list.
top 5 to top 10, but still love it.
Nice.
I still really appreciate the game design and the innovation. But one game I would probably definitely recommend that they've also made is Your Walk, which is also an iOS game.
Yeah.
But it's a horror game.
Interesting. Oh, yeah, you were telling us about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But they've done a wide range of games. Bumpy Road is an endless runner, I guess, in a car, where you play this old couple driving in a car, and you just like use your finger to bump the bump and avoid obstacles. It's really nice. Cool. It's kind of therapeutic in a sense. Beat Sneak Bandit's really neat, where there's a constant beat playing through the whole level, and you have to move to the beat of that's playing that you hear.
So it's like Bit Trip.
I haven't played that.
Okay, well, that's what it's like.
Sounds fake. Anyway, that one's fun. And they've done some more recent stuff. A new game came out.
Wii U. Your Walk Wii U.
Oh, yeah.
What? Oh.
That's cool.
What do you know?
Is it the same game?
Yeah.
Yes,
I'd assume it's just a port.
Wow.
Reimagined for Wii U.
That's pretty cool.
Who's got a Wii U?
I do.
I do.
Oh, you both do?
Yeah.
Well,
I have a Wii.
Well, Cameron does.
Cameron
It's
has
in
it.
California,
Yeah, it's in California. But
it'll be here in 2 weeks.
I have mine here.
I guess they released a new game, Split. It's a puzzle game, I guess. I'll probably definitely buy it. Because I buy all their stuff.
Nice.
Man, doesn't that look great? It's a definite upgrade from the Vice 6 aesthetic.
Yeah, totally.
I see Score up in the top corner, and so
revolutionary.
I guess it's not one of their Device 6 like games. I guess it's just a Score.
Probably not. Anyway,
it just seems like they were on that sort of like roll.
Device 6.
Yeah.
Guess I failed.
You failed.
Yes, I'm supposed to recommend stuff I think you guys will love, but I failed.
Not necessarily.
I think we all failed this week, in our own ways.
I liked it a lot, and I would definitely recommend it, but I probably won't play it again for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I could say that much. But the thing is that having to pay $4 for it makes me feel like I should at least play it again or let someone else play it. $4, a lot for an iPhone app.
What? Oh, man.
I don't think it's that much. Like, I just put it in perspective of everything else. And it's
racist for games.
Pulling a Chris Rock with the Asian.
Pulling a Chris Rock.
I didn't know what word would work for that. There's like an idea that if it's on iPhone, it should be cheaper.
Elitist. I don't know.
Racist works, right?
Cheapo. No. Cheapskate. Yeah. There you go.
Man, you guys are mean.
You're a racist cheapskate.
Yeah.
Well, dang.
Speaking of, what something you said earlier, Gus? We are all Annas.
We're all Annas, just like we're all Frankies, and we're all lying in hell.
Yeah. Let's hear it for Frankie.
That's some Frankie Teardrop lyrics.
Yes, these are lines from the 1977 song Frankie Teardrop by the band Suicide on their album Suicide. This is Gus's recommendation. And he was very nebulous with his description.
Talk about that a little.
It was it's so hard to I didn't want to like give anything away because so if you haven't heard the song and you're interested in audio experiences, I would suggest you go listen to it right now. But
I mean, that's a strange thing saying a song can be spoiled in a sense. Like there's nearly not I can't think of anything else that like that.
But I feel like this is a song that could be spoiled. Like
it's weird.
Yeah. But anyway, and so now you've been warned. Spoiler warning. So, this is a I guess a creepy song.
Yes, Gus, I have beef.
You have beef.
Yeah,
okay.
with you.
Oh,
I have beef too with both of you actually.
Both of us.
With both of you. Yeah.
Okay. Well, whose beef is going first?
My beef.
Andrew's beef.
Okay.
Because it's been sitting out too long. Anyway, why did you not tell me that this would be scary? I was so scared listening to the song.
That was the very reason
Always scared.
I didn't tell you what it was like because it's a scary song.
It's really
then
scary.
You would have been prepared.
It's awesome. Oh,
like genre-wise, for music, like you could call it horror, like right?
You probably could, yeah.
I mean, it was not fun, but that doesn't mean it was bad.
It's minimalist and which makes it very atmospheric. There's a monotonous bass drum that just keeps going throughout the whole thing. That was me tapping, by the way. Andrew gets mad when I do that. And then there's also a really simple like synth
keyboard.
Two notes the whole time.
Two
sounds
notes.
Like.
Yeah. But despite the simplicity, I think they were able to make a very impactful experience.
Mm-hmm.
But what is your beef with us?
Better be
Sterling?
tasty.
Okay, so it's gonna be some real tasty beef.
Ooh.
So, Gus, you told us you haven't listened to this song in 3 years because it was just that impactful.
It's just because
You didn't get around to it.
I didn't get around to it, but
It is 10 minutes
mainly,
long.
it's not like a song that I would be jamming out in my car to.
So that's I was thinking about that too when I was listening to it. Unfortunately, I tried really hard to think. I kind of wish somehow that I went into it without it being recommended on Wheelhouse, because I was thinking I had heard both your guys' opinions on it vaguely before I went in, and your opinion was that you haven't listened to it since, and you wouldn't listen to it in the car. And I was thinking about that, and I was like, why? And this is the first 3 minutes of the song. Keep in mind, right?
Oh, okay.
And Andrew, the other day, we went to Cafe Brazil, right? So we went to Cafe Brazil yesterday. Yes, yesterday. And Andrew's like, I won't tell you anything. Just listen to it in the dark in your room with your eyes closed.
Oh my God! Yes, right? Good job, Andrew.
That's what I did.
That was probably the perfect experience. I unfortunately put it off until today, and I listened to it at work, which is in the light. But I kind of just stared off into space and zoned out. Luckily, but Andrew, I was really curious. I was like, was Gus overreacting when he said like hasn't listened to it in 3 years? Like it's so powerful. Andrew cited all these things like Schindler's List is such an emotional experience for him. He won't watch it again, but he kind of wants to for technical reasons. All this stuff. I think both of you guys are overreacting, and
I could listen to it like right now.
Okay, that's what I figured.
I can't even think of another song that has affected me in this way.
That's fair to say.
Because it's not like a conventional song, so to speak.
And that's another thing. So
Getting
I
into
think
it.
the hype is not real. The hype is not real.
You're a poser, dude. He's fired. He's off the show.
Damn. Okay, I loved the song. I'm not saying it was a bad song, and I actually really liked it, and I would listen to it again. But so I was frightened. There's a first scream.
Yes.
First scream, that one, I had a little jump. I was like, woo! That one scared me. And I was like, dang, okay, that's why they didn't tell me. And then there's a bunch more screams, and there was this wash of sound at the end, and everything was just like whoosh, for like 4 minutes or something at the end. So, I don't know. I feel like it can be easily cut down to like 4 or 5 things that happen in the song. Like, it was so I guess I was really looking for it. Like, I don't know how to explain this, but I wish I went in and I didn't know, like, even that it was a song that might frighten me or that, like, might affect me in some way. I liked it a lot, but I went in and I heard every single thing that happened, and I was like, well, that's...
Wait, you think it should have been shorter?
Yeah.
Yes, actually.
I
for
disagree.
this purpose.
Yeah, I disagree.
So, okay. You can't tell me that there was a minute of that wash that meant something, the wash at the end.
I don't think the song feels as long as it does.
I completely agree.
It didn't feel like 10
And
minutes, I can say that.
the monotony of it adds for me. It adds to the song.
I agree.
I don't feel it needs to be cut down. Just because it keeps up with the atmosphere, and you just keep waiting for what the next thing is, whether it's a scream. Which, by the way, the screams sound like Majora's Mask Skull Kid screaming. It really does. I realized that after listening to this, because I played Majora's Mask not too long ago.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa. It's like uncanny.
Damn.
But pretty harrowing screams. But I mean, it is a long song. So I can see that.
But that's the thing. The complaint is not that it's long. It's that some of the sound feels pointless to me. Like, you were talking about the Kraftwerk song you heard the other day that was like 22 minutes of the same thing or something like that.
Autobahn.
That's to me, that sounds like some of that might be pointless. Like, imagine if this song was 9 minutes and 1 second long. I don't know how long it is.
It's like 10 minutes 27.
Okay, imagine it was 10 minutes and 25 seconds and 2 seconds of that wash were gone.
What?
Would that make a difference?
No, it wouldn't make a difference.
That's my question. So then it didn't matter. You could throw it out the window.
That's a false dichotomy. It's
Agreed.
Fair. Okay, fair.
Yeah.
But I think there is a lot you could throw out of this, and that's what caught me off guard a little bit. I was expecting 10 minutes. I was expecting a little bit more to happen.
Well,
perhaps I did overhype
I'm sorry,
it.
you haven't said anything.
let me tell you why you're wrong.
Please, I'm welcoming it. Go ahead.
So, little experience about my first experience. Gus, of course, had built this up. A lot of hype. Kind of excited to go into it. It was at night, in my room by myself, lights off, headphones on, eyes closed, laying in bed. And again, did not know what to expect, and it was horrific. I was tense the whole time. I was like, I was like gritting my teeth because that first scream, like, got me completely off guard, and there were more, and you don't know when they're coming. They're completely random. They're like, for all like intents and purposes, they're like jump scares, right?
Yeah, there's really not a flow to the vocals of this.
But it did not feel like 10 minutes. The drum kit, it does sort of, we saw a video where someone described it as eventually it becomes like a drone, and it does. It's so monotonous that it just feels like this one overall sound. And for me, what struck me was, it might just be because of the environment I was listening to, but to me, this song is very visual. The beginning of the song is more, well, if you can even call it more traditional, in the sense that there are lines that have words that you can tell what he's saying.
There's a little bit of realism at the beginning.
Yeah, there's a story.
Yeah.
About Frankie Teardrop, and he is laid off and going crazy, so he kills his family and then he kills himself. Very dark. This is a very dark, probably the darkest song I've ever heard. And the rest of the song is ostensibly his descent into hell. And for me, there is some elements sonically that convey that. The first time, right after the suicide, there's like this like pulsating noise that for me reminded me of like Dante's Inferno and the Rings of Hell. And for me, that was like really visual. I'm like, this is amazing. And I was constructing all these like visions of hell inside my head. Again, might just be because I was, eyes closed.
No, that's what I did. So last week I was like, don't do anything else while you listen to this and dwell on it, because that's what I do when I listen to this song. And so you were like, that 4-minute droney part at the end is pointless, and I disagree, because I thought it was hellish.
So
I thought
not the whole part is pointless.
Terrifying.
It's not the whole part. It's any minute of that part could be totally unnecessary, in my opinion. Like, so the song starts off and you get like the drum going and the two synth things, and he starts telling this story about Frankie and everything, right? And then it gets to the part where he goes to hell, right? He dies, he kills himself, and he goes to hell, and then you get this whoosh going on. And at that point, I was like, damn, like, just got really, really dark and really sad, and I was like, oh, man. And then after a while, it started going again, and there was, like, I guess there was some screams that, like, popped up every once in a while, and stuff like that. And then I started thinking just, like, should I turn on the brightness of my computer and see how much... I turned the computer all the way down, right? I was like, should I turn it up and see how much longer there's left?
No.
And I did.
No.
And there was less than a minute left, and so I finished the song. So
you and your Device 6 guys, and you're checking the time on Frankie Teardrop.
I'm telling you, I think for this, or actually maybe for Device 6 too, I was not in the right environment, to be honest. It's not that I wasn't convinced by either, because I like Device 6 a lot, and I do love this song, but my beef with it is that it was overhyped. I was expecting too much. And it's funny, too, because you didn't really say that much about it either.
Well, I think that's what made it overhyped, was because I didn't know how to pitch this, because I couldn't just say... Andrew definitely wouldn't have allowed me to say, all right, Frankie Teardrop, Suicide, go listen to it, and that's it.
Yeah.
I'd have to give more information about it. But I'm happy to hear, Andrew.
Yes, I have
your experience. You had me worried, because he messaged me the other day and he was like, "We have words to exchange."
It was just the fact you didn't warn me it was gonna be scary, and I got really scared. But yes, I had not heard anything like it. For me, 10 minutes it went by like no problem. I was never bored, because it felt like a roller coaster ride, like one of those horror roller coaster things. Like, it was exhausting, and it was exhilarating, and I do not know if I want to go back and listen to it again, because it's not entirely pleasant. For example, I just remember this because we were talking about it earlier, but Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I think it's a phenomenal film. I don't think I have no urge to go back and see it again, because it was...
You're missing out, man.
Because there's...
fired too.
I've got beef with you now.
Because for me, my first experience was very terrifying, but I have not felt that sort of terror in a film, and that is why that experience is so unique, and I value it, but I don't know if I want to put myself through that again.
We were talking about this with Schindler's List, right? And you were saying you might be willing to revisit Schindler's List for technical observation.
Yes.
Right? Why not Texas Chainsaw Massacre? Was it that like devastating of a film that if you watched it again, you would have like a heart attack or something? Because remember, it's not real. You know what I mean? Like I can listen to Frankie Teardrop and be like, this is a story told by a guy in the 70s. And interestingly enough, I tried to find Untitled to see if like I could, I guess, find like so I listened on Spotify originally, and I wanted to find it Untitled as well because I was like, oh, maybe the audio quality is different, so I can listen again. What I found was Attempted live at Max's Kansas City 1980. It's like some live album, I guess.
Oh God, that's probably weird.
It's way different.
Yeah,
it was like the last song in their set or on the track listing of the live album, and it was like a bunch of like samples of like radio, like fuzz and people like talking on the radio, but the vocals over it. Mm-hmm. So it's really interesting, but totally different experience. And I guess that was because it was live too, and like people were like, yeah, like in the background, all this
Frankie!
Kind of stuff. So
we're all Frankies.
we're all Frankies. Let's hear it for Frankie. Yeah.
Also, can I just say, it's so clear why Bruce likes this song because the lyrics start out, works in a factory and everything like that. He's probably like, oh God, I gotta write this down.
It was actually very like, it felt very Brucey, especially like the way it was presented. I think it was like Frankie Teardrop, 20-year-old Frankie. He's married. He's got a kid. And he's working in a factory. Like the cadence or whatever and the way it's presented.
Oh, yeah.
Very Bruce Springsteen-y. So I'm not surprised at all that he was like, this is the greatest song I've ever heard. One thing that I did think was interesting about my experience was when it ended. So I had these big headphones on my face and the volume really high. I took them off and my face was like tingly because of the drum that was going like that. So I felt like kind of weird in my face. My teeth felt funny, but...
Yeah, I'd imagine if you had like a really good, if you were like playing this on as like a stereo system and I had a really powerful like bass or subwoofer, it'd probably be pretty irritating.
Yeah,
because just a constant thud.
And I get that honestly, like the monotony thing being purposeful in terms of like I guess not annoyance, but like being driving and kind of forceful. So I understand that, but for me, there's that one section that could be kind of like not thrown out, but to me feels without purpose. That's all I'll say.
I have one final question. Okay, I have one final question for Gus.
Yes.
I wrote down an observation here. I want to see if you agree. So this lead singer, how his voice sounds when he's doing the verses. I wrote down demented Lou Reed. Would you agree?
I never really thought about that. Lou Reed?
Demented Lou Reed.
Like, I guess he does kind of like talk it out, like Lou Reed kind of does. I can see it.
Okay.
I can.
Glad we agree on something.
Yeah.
but yeah, but then he gets into the screams and it's like right in your face.
Well, there is speaking of Lou Reed, the song Lady Godiva's Operation.
Yes.
The first time I listened to that, and then there's that weird part like halfway through the song where he just like abruptly
comes out of nowhere.
Yeah. It reminded me of that a little bit. But anyway.
Yes. Frankie Teardrop, as dark gets.
Dark gets. Sterling.
I've heard darker.
What have you
songs
listened
are
to?
darker?
Yeah.
Have you ever listened to the band Sun with like Sun?
Yeah.
That's like drone. Your mind will come out your ass when you listen to something like that.
You mean Suicide, the sequel?
Yeah, no, it's fair to say that this is definitely revolutionary, and without a doubt, this is something this is a very important piece of music. I will not deny that, and I like it a lot. And don't get me wrong, I really like it. I'm really glad you recommended it, but I think I just did it wrong, honestly.
You can't appreciate art, just like Beck.
That's what I was afraid you guys would say.
Speaking of art,
our
next review is The Life of Pablo, Kanye West's most recent album, only on Tidal.
Only on Tidal. And on pirating websites.
This guy likes Tidal.
Oh my God, yeah. There's a hilarious video where some guy says he doesn't like Tidal to Kanye, and Kanye calls him a hater and whatnot. It's awesome. Anyway, Sterling, take it away.
I'm so interested to hear what you guys think about this, because from what I've seen, this is a really polarizing album. This came out this year, exclusively on Tidal. Went through many Tidal changes, track listing changes, songs added last minute, songs removed last minute. It's got so many features, lots of like R&B and hip hop like stars essentially. 18 tracks long. At least the title version is.
Some horrible album art.
Yeah, I think universally it is regarded as just terrible. But
Like another video Gus and I saw was Kanye doing Photoshop on Christmas cards. Like seeing
real?
that, we could understand how something like this could have happened.
He was
Oh
on
my God.
Kris Jenner's show. They were talking about it there. But
yeah, first impressions. What about first impressions?
So,
Of the whole thing.
last episode we reviewed The World's End, and I said there was
Yeah.
one word that I defined it, which was surprising. For me, the one word to define Life of Pablo was frustrating.
Really?
Yes, for me, there's there's a couple songs and many sequences that are great, but they're always marred by like this sort of like schizophrenic attitude. It's not unified. It's like it feels like it's all over the place.
it's,
and it feels
it's very
unfinished.
disjointed. Yes.
Yeah.
And
I've
like
heard that a lot.
and like something like Jesus, which I listened to previous to this,
As did I.
felt unfinished. There were a lot of it was intentionally minimalist, but to a fault. And I feel like that there's some holdover in Life of Pablo. But like I said, there's some when it hits the highs, they're pretty high.
Oh yeah.
I listened to Jesus as well,
Yeah.
and not that I didn't like Jesus. I was kind of, I guess, lukewarm on it.
Same. Yeah.
But after listening to it again, and then after listening to Life of Pablo, I like Jesus better than Life of Pablo.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Did not expect that.
Because
Okay. Here we go.
to me, the highs on Jesus were much higher than any of the high points on Life of Pablo.
Really?
Namely, New Slaves, Black
Yeah,
Skinhead.
that's fair.
The songs that I already liked before. Going back and listening to it, songs that I disliked, like Guilt Trip, I actually found to be not as bad as I remembered.
Oh.
I have a new least favorite song on that album.
Which is
I'm in
I'm
it.
in it.
Yes.
yeah.
It has this horrible dog sample that was also used in Spyro the Dragon, released like 15 years before Jesus was released. Just a totally dated sound clip.
Gosh.
But it's a really funny song.
that I did not need repeated listens for that. That was like first listen, hands down, worst. Not a minute.
Yeah. Oh god. And Hold My Liquor. I hate that song.
Yeah.
Oh my leg.
Yeah, namely that part of
Yeah.
the song. And that's so the parts I didn't like about Jesus, unfortunately, are the parts I don't really like about the Life of Pablo.
For the same
I was
reasons,
gonna call
you
it Pablo Honey. Yeah. And that's mainly the auto-tune parts. I just
Yeah.
can't get behind it.
So, I
and there are
think there's-
so many. There are a few. Okay, so there are a few songs where auto-tune is utilized, and I can still get. I can still go with it.
Mhm.
For example, like Waves.
Yeah.
I actually like the song Waves. That's one of my favorites. But then it's just sometimes like Young Thug. Oh God, I just can't stand it. It sounds so bad to me.
Yeah. So, if you know Kanye, and you know that there's one album in discography that really changed things, that was 808's Heartbreak. That was all pretty much auto-tuned. And I've listened to it, and I actually like it because it is cohesive, where it is consistently auto-tuned. So each song sounds like it's part of this one full album. Something like My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy also has that auto-tune. But for me, it's used in addition to all these other musical elements. And there's one word I saw to describe that album, which I've never heard of before, which is maximalist, which is the opposite of minimalist.
Interesting.
Huh.
Yeah.
I've heard
and,
over the top, and what's the word? There's a word that also means over the top that means like kind of ridiculously over the top.
grand,
It's like
epic.
yeah, whatever.
High
Whatever.
octane.
You
Yeah,
keep
yeah.
saying what you were saying.
So Twisted Fantasy does sort of marry autotune, but the autotune never sort of overpowers the other sort of grand musical elements. Jesus, like I mentioned before, is the complete opposite of Twisted Fantasy, going minimalist. So when autotune does come in, it sticks out more, and it's not consistent. But after 808's, autotune is here to stay. That electronic sound, I think he's going to keep forever. So that is a carryover.
Don't say that. No.
It's a
Forever.
carryover into Life of Pablo. And like Jesus, it comes in stints, so it does feel out of place at times, or for most of the time. It doesn't feel like it belongs there.
In Pablo, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to hear track by tracks.
Yeah.
Let's do this shit.
I actually want to go track by track.
Let's do it.
Because I looked up all like the song meanings and everything like that.
Oh, nice.
And Yeah.
So
just
let's
some are very
begin
weird.
with my favorite song on the album.
Wow.
Yeah,
I'll
right
try
off
to
the bat.
definitely one of the best.
It is.
That's one of my
No
favorites
doubt.
too.
Ultralight
That's
Beam.
either my favorite or my second favorite.
Good lyrics as
Yeah.
opposed to some of the other songs on the album.
We'll get to that.
I love the gospel feel, which
Yes.
Kanye has mentioned that this is a gospel album,
Yeah, I read that, and I get that for this song.
and maybe a couple after. But
Yeah.
For the most part,
I was okay. So I love starting this album, listening to this. I'm like, I love this track. It reminds me of Dark Fantasy, the first track on My Beautiful, whatever. I came up forgetting the title. Yeah, and I was so hoping to God you could say that he would keep that gospel theme, because it would be the one thing that could unify the whole album. Something like Jesus was missing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
But
would have been awesome.
I can see that.
3-4 tracks in, he talks about like having too much money and like I don't want to be famous, but I love being famous, like all that stuff.
Yeah, that's another unfortunate part that I wasn't too crazy about.
Yeah.
At sometimes it's just so hilarious. Just his bragging, but anyway.
But Ultralight Beam has minimalism that I think works.
Yeah.
Has a beautiful refrain. I actually really like the religious allusions, and overall had a sort of ethereal and spiritual feel.
Yeah. Ethereal.
Yeah.
Dude, Chance the Rapper, that's an awesome verse. I love that
Yeah.
so much. Especially he's what is it? Where's my notes? I made Sunday candy, I'm never going to hell. I met Kanye West, I'm never going to fail. And if I'm not mistaken, that's a Jesus reference too. He said, I made Jesus walk, so I'm never going to hell.
Oh.
On a track on Jesus.
But my favorite song, and it's only downhill from there, in my opinion. That's harsh, but
Well, I guess if it's your favorite
Dang.
song. But it is pretty immediate that you hit a speed bump, at least in my opinion.
You guys are not fans of Father Stretch My Hands Part 1?
No, I am not.
Oh, bummer.
It is one of my least favorites.
how could you not with the line like
Bleached asshole.
This model. I have a pitch to defend this section.
Okay.
Okay, so hear me out. I'm at a little chart here. Okay, so the first line he kind of sing raps on the whole album is, if I fuck this model, right? Think about that for a second. Think about who he's presenting, which version of himself he's presenting as a character on this album, right? If I fuck this model, that means he has the choice to either not fuck or fuck this random model, right? And she just bleached her asshole, and I get bleach on my t-shirt. That's not only is that humor at his own expense, possibly. There's this vainness, which obviously carries through a lot of Kanye's more recent music. And to me, that's something that's just so interesting. And I hear a lot of people complain that like Kanye fanboys always want to defend him, be like, oh, it's just his personality, you know? But I'm trying to say more like if you're looking at him as a character and as someone who's part of the art as well, to me, it's so interesting. Like I actually like the whole rich person crisis thing that he has going on. Like that was the center of My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. That's why I love that so much, because there's this like internal crisis, and that's something for me carries over to Pablo a little bit. To me, it feels like a Twisted Fantasy sequel in terms of the subject matter, but musically not so much. But do you see what I'm kind of saying?
yeah.
I see what you're kind of saying, but I don't think it was necessary to continue on his tirade of "I'm rich, I'm awesome," and everything like that.
That's fair. It is.
I'm
3
rich
albums
because I'm
deep.
awesome.
Or am I awesome?
And I said before, like there are points where it's funny, and I'm like, okay, yeah. this is likable. But then there are other points, like I guess we'll get to that song in a little bit. But the whole Taylor Swift sort of fiasco, which is like you didn't make her famous; she was already famous before that. So
Yeah. No.
But anyway, Father Part
Stretch
1.
My hands.
Auto-tune killed it for me.
Man,
I
love that song.
I really disliked both Part 1 and Part 2.
Really?
But after I listened to it a second time, Part 2 grew on me a little bit more.
I think Part 2 is awesome.
And of course, that is the next track, Part 2. And so there's still more. There's still more auto-tune. Fa 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 fa. And there's an annoying rap trend on this track that happens a few other times that I dislike. I don't know what to refer to it other than I don't know how to refer to it other than staccato rap.
Oh yeah.
Just
Which is it? The I got broads in Atlanta. That part.
it just any part during the song where it's just like word.
Yeah.
You know, that happens a
Yeah.
lot in like auto-tune, like Wiz Khalifa type stuff.
Ray Shremmer.
Yeah, and I'm not too big on that, but there's still I like the backing music to this song. I liked a lot.
I like
thought it was cool.
that like first verse where he's like up in the morning, miss you bad. That part I like that a lot.
Yeah.
And then that part right there with Designer, who I guess he's some up and coming rap guy that Kanye may have signed. Not really sure, but I love that part. Though it's apparently a sample from a Designer song, I guess, and that recently came out. But I love that. It sounds so cool. That I got bras in Atlanta. That part.
For me, I was like, I can't understand what he's saying.
It's just got such like rhythm to it that it feels nice to listen to me.
So Designer's part on this song was tolerable.
Yeah.
He's on another song and he ruins the song for me. Again, we'll get to that later.
Okay, yeah.
There's that Street Fighter sample at the beginning. That's
Yeah.
perfect.
Oh, didn't even notice.
Yeah. That's all the notes I have for this.
Famous.
Wow. Famous. This is about him breaking up with fame.
Embodied by Rihanna.
Oh, and this is the one where he mentions Taylor Swift. Yeah. It's not really that great in my opinion. The
I
song.
love this song.
Nah,
Bummer.
not for me. I think Rihanna's part is totally boring. I guess Kanye's like. I guess like his part is okay. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not crazy about this one.
That's fair. I love the sample, like at the bridge to end part. Let's see if it has. Yeah, right there.
Oh, I love that too.
Sister Nancy. Apparently, I looked her up. She's apparently the first female dance hall DJ. Dance hall is like a version of reggae, but it's like minimalist, like dance beat reggae music.
Mm-hmm.
And this, I guess, was a trend in like the 70s. She was apparently the first female DJ, and I love the song. Like, Bom Bom is actually the name of the song. It's a great song, and it fits so well in this. I thought
I do love that sample.
Yeah,
such a good sample.
That is the best part of the song.
Yeah, it's that part I love. There she is, right over there. There's Sister Nancy.
Is she alive?
I have no clue, actually.
There's also some interesting callbacks to his previous albums. Like there's lines like "Wake up, Mr. West" and
Yeah.
"Let me see your middle finger in the air."
Mr. West.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
Seems like he's running out of ideas how to reuse some of his
Maybe.
old
No,
stuff.
I don't think it's that. I think it's a.
It's a reference.
Hey, I'm the old Kanye. Oh, you guys want the old
I miss
Kanye?
the old Kanye. Oh, Feedback is the next track.
I
18 of these. We gotta get through them.
I love Feedback.
Feedback is
One of my
very good.
favorites because it's what I wanted out of Kanye West, and it's just him going at it on a track. I mean, and that's basically it. It's just there's no like weird sort of second part of the song, no weird ending or anything like that. It's just straightforward him rapping.
There's that weird skit with Oprah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I
Oprah.
guess.
That I don't like that part at all. But
guess,
the rest
yeah.
of the song I thought was great.
No, for me that's one of those moments that's so ridiculous. I like it.
Hold on.
Yeah.
And this was one where he was bragging and everything, but I thought it was funny, like all the things he was saying.
Yeah.
To the haters.
The song was fine.
Yeah, I like Feedback.
Didn't stand out to me.
Low Lights. I wrote kind of pointless to me. I don't remember which.
It's about moms dropping off kids at school and then going to work.
Yeah, this is where that lady is giving this speech over the.
It's a monologue.
Boom. Oh look, there's a
pretty. It's pretty. Yeah, that's where I got on my.
Okay, I was like,
It's pretty pointless in my opinion.
that's exactly what I wrote. Yeah.
I really like this song.
You really do?
Even though it's not really a song.
It's just filler.
I know. I like it. It's simple. I like it. It's like there's a synth and a piano just playing in the background. I like it. Apparently, it's like a callback to All of the Lights. How there's an interlude before going into the proper song.
He keeps using lights in songs.
Low lights, highlights.
Speaking of highlights,
ultra light beam.
Highlights was a song that I didn't like at first.
Yeah.
And I still don't like certain parts of it. But the part with the wait, let me make sure this is even the song.
I think I know.
Too much auto tune.
Too much auto-tune, but there's
Does it have to do
the
with
snaps and just like the beat and when Kanye's just rapping over that part of the song, great. I love it.
I think this is an awesome song. Yes, that is such a funny lyric. It's so stupid.
Yeah, that's such a dumb lyric.
And after that, now I'm gonna want to play this shit back. I don't know. Sometimes I'm wishing that my dick had GoPro. Yeah, that's a throw out for me. I wrote GoPro dick line ...
Yeah.
Yeah, the beat is really cool. Oh, I love the bridge part. It's like, it's lower in the song. It's a every bad bitch up at Equinox. I don't even know right now if you're a freaking not. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, I like that part too.
This was a song that really hit me about all the contradictions like within this album.
Yeah.
You know, saying,
"Oh yeah,
I'm sick of all the fame and the rich," but then also like
he's celebrating his.
I'm rich. I've got
career.
21 Grammys. I go to this Equinox gym that's high end. Like it's like, yeah.
Kanye, you're in debt apparently.
Exactly.
You're rich.
53 million.
Why wouldn't you pay it off?
See, all these things, it just adds up to the character for me.
The enigma that is Kanye West.
Not even like that. That's not what it is. That it like feeds the music. You know. You don't think so? I'd much rather listen to
it's just
this
funny
obviously conflicted person than like, I don't know, someone who's just like making a straightforward album. Maybe a concise idea would be nice. I definitely agree with that, but I don't know.
I would
get more into it.
I would agree with Andrew and call it frustrating, the lyrical content of the song, because it is. It's basically just he's like, oh, I'm so mad about the whole VMA debacle from 2009. But then, and he says he broke up with Fame and in Fame, right? Yeah, in Fame, or Famous.
Famous, yeah.
But then he's back and he's like, I've done so much. I'm so great. It's just kind of, I don't know. It is frustrating.
It's schizophrenic. It feels like, yeah.
I think that adds so much to. I don't know. I like that aspect.
All right, keep believing that.
We'll give. Freestyle 4 is terrible. Also, I hate this song so much. This one has an X.
Throwaway. Oh, damn.
The part where he's like, well, we're right now in the middle of this motherfucking restaurant. All that stuff at the end is like, stop it.
The designer part. This is the other track that Designer's in. The designer part is fucking shit. I hate his part.
Look at those lyrics.
Yeah, the lyrics are pretty poor, and it's just him in autotune, and it sounds terrible.
Yeah, I said this is very Yeezus-like, the song.
Yeah, I can kind of get that.
And I said this of all the songs, this is the one that was scariest.
Wait, why?
Why are you always so scared?
Yeah.
Because to me, this solidified that Kanye's crazy.
The Life of Pablo.
It's a good thing.
It's a good thing.
Like, you can feel the multiple personalities in here.
He thinks he's Pablo Escobar, Pablo Picasso, and Paul. Yeah, Paul, whose name in
Saint
Spanish
Paul.
would be Pablo. So
I miss the Kanye.
He's
Straight
crazy.
from the go, Kanye. Chop up the soul.
Speaking of multiple personalities.
I love Kanye. I think I Love Kanye is hilarious.
Wait, I Love Kanye?
I love Kanye.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, me too.
It's a funny little track. And he's talking about the meme Kanye loves Kanye, or no one can love Kanye like Kanye, or whatever. And I thought it was a moment where he broke away from his, I don't know, craziness, his mental instability, and he was like, oh, life can be a joke.
I think this like, for me, it's kind of like a skit track, like the Silver Surfer one, right?
Yeah,
but
I can see that.
What's nice about it is that it for me, it puts the rest of the album kind of in context, and the fact that he's supposedly this new Kanye who's making this music that's upsetting his fans apparently, and people are just being like, you know what, like, oh, go back to the old like soul beats Kanye, you know, all that kind of stuff. But he himself is unable to look at himself as problematic. Do you know what I mean? So he's like, oh, I don't care if you miss the old Kanye. I love myself infinitely. And that's kind of, for me, that's like what the whole album is kind of about. And that's so great.
That's what every album of his is about. He's a total narcissist.
For me, I only get that from Twisted Fantasy, Yeezus, in this one.
Especially Yeezus.
Yeah.
Yeezus
it does not, for me, it doesn't pay
blowing
off.
himself the whole way through.
Yeah, except I Am a God. I really like that song. But
Yeezus
Yeezus as an album for me, it doesn't work as well. But on Life of Pablo, I feel it in the art more so. With Yeezus, sometimes it sounded kind of like gross to me, not like unattractive musically, but a lot of the songs I didn't like various parts of them. You know what I mean?
In it.
Yeah.
Bad song.
I don't like On Sight either. The first track, I don't like On Sight at all.
I didn't mind it.
I don't like.
I thought it was. Oh, I like that part. Yeah.
I don't think he does that.
Yeah, it reminds you of that
thing well.
Paul McCartney song, Temporary Secretary.
Oh my God, maybe that's why I like it. Yeah. Temporary Secretary.
Okay.
Anyway.
All right.
We're on
halfway point. Halfway point. Track 10, Waves.
Like I said earlier, I enjoy the song despite its auto-tuneness.
And Chris Brown. Despite Chris Brown.
Oh yeah, I actually wrote that down. Despite auto-tune and Chris Brown. Chance the Rapper wrote and arranged this, apparently.
That's pretty interesting.
And maybe that's why I like it so much, because it's good.
So remember, he delays the album, and he says, it's Chance's fault. Chance really wanted Waves on the album. Yeah. I didn't know that's why. That's interesting.
And Chance says he's proud of his decision.
I see that right there. Yeah, wow.
Don't call attention to it. I did research.
This song's got a nice refrain. It's got an electronic pulse. You could describe it as a wave-like. That's all I have.
Yeah. I like it too.
Track 11.
FML. I love this song.
For My Lady.
For My Lady. Yeah, it's about him and Kim, so I guess I can give him props for being like, oh, Kim, I'm not. We're together. We're making it through despite all the public. I guess the public wishing ill upon their relationship.
Mm-hmm.
There's some good lyrics in here. I like this song a lot. This whole verse right here, I think is awesome.
I just don't really like the music.
Yes.
Like the backing music.
Oh,
really?
I wrote that poor instrumentation, and
man.
Speaking of Russia, I wrote so close to being great.
Dang.
Yes, the lyrics are good on here. It has a nice hook by The Weeknd.
Yeah.
But the instrumentation is just not there.
That's one thing that I've heard from a lot of people about this album. A lot of people also that I'm personally close to and I can talk about this kind of stuff with, is that they feel like it's an incomplete album.
Oh, I feel that way too.
That's what I've been hearing from everyone.
And it's because it's so disjointed, and there's so many weird parts in songs where it's just.
There are quite a few of those.
Like there's the portal voice in one of the father parts, right? I mean, it's not the actual portal voice, but that's what it reminded me
Gladys.
of. Yeah. Featuring GLaDOS. But it just, I don't know. I don't know if it was him trying to just be artsy about it, or if it's.
Probably.
I mean, he's probably just experimenting, and then he just threw it all together. I don't know. There's something weird about this album, and it's even its release, the multiple titles, the constant changing of tracks.
Yeah.
It just I felt like he was directionless in this, and that he just pieced together songs.
Okay.
But yeah. Anyway, Real Friends.
Real Friends is the best song on this album.
I like it. I think it's pretty good. This is definitely a minimalist-esque song.
This is probably the most, other than maybe No More Parties in LA, the most hip hop song in the album.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot. Most of them are pretty experimental, experimental R&B, hip hop, and apparently gospel. But
Feedback is pretty rap.
Yeah, and hip-hop. Famous has rap verses and everything, but Real Friends is straightforward, old Kanye.
I was kind of mixed on the lyrics.
Really?
Yeah.
Like what?
I don't know. Just reading the title, I'm like, gee, I wonder what this song is about. It's really on the nose for me.
The band, Real Friends.
The band Real Friends.
But it did harken back to something like Family Business and Roses, some more heartfelt songs. So
yeah,
did like it for that.
Yeah. I really like the beat. It's got that little riff. I can't remember how it goes off the top of my head, but it's really high, and then there's the drums and everything. I like that.
I like that.
I love about
as well.
The cousin that stole the laptop.
That comes back.
The only reason I like it, it does come back
It's awesome.
later in a later song, which we will get to. 13, Wolves.
This might be my least favorite.
Yeah, it's another one of my squigglies.
There's one other that might take the cake, but I don't know. I don't know if maybe misunderstood, or maybe it was like a joke or something. I know Kanye's been like, I'm gonna fix wolves.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm gonna fix wolves.
But I thought people like really liked this song, and so I was pretty hyped going into it. I was like, okay, Wolves is gonna be awesome, but it's really underwhelming.
I agree.
Too much auto-tune.
Too much auto-tune.
Said boring backing and choppy.
Very choppy, actually.
He compares him and Kim to Joseph and Mary, which I thought was laughable.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about all I have to say about that.
Oh, wait. Okay, yeah, you...
That stuck out to me.
Wait, no, scroll down. No, there it is. You left your fridge open, somebody just took a sandwich. That line. You tried to play nice, everybody just took advantage. You left your fridge open, somebody just took a sandwich. Can't handle it.
But that like happens to him every day or something.
Yeah,
exactly. To like put that
He's
in.
like thinking of a very specific instance.
Very affected.
Still mad about that sandwich, though.
I'm so torn about him lyrically. Like sometimes I think he has some really great lyrics, and even like the funny stuff. I think, oh wow, that was really clever and everything. And then sometimes I just feel like he just drops the ball, and the lyrics are so poor.
It reminds me vaguely of Quentin Tarantino, and I don't have the specifics on this, so forgive me if I'm wrong. But he did have a writing partner for Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction. And then at some point, that person left. So it's just him on the writing credits.
Interesting.
That's when people started saying, okay, sometimes his dialogue's excessive or overindulgent. Kanye needs someone like that.
Kanye needs
he needs an editor to go, okay, this is good stuff.
What's interesting about Kanye's writing style is that they call it a think tank method.
Yeah.
Which
he
gets together with all his favorite producers and rappers and beat makers, and they go in a room, they write a song, and then he goes into another room where a bunch of other people are gathered, and he works on that song in some studio in Hawaii, right? They do all of this, and to me it's really interesting because supposedly he is the executive producer in a sense, in which he's making the final decisions, and everyone's kind of piecing together cool ideas they have and stuff like that. So when you look at it like that, to me it's really interesting. And I think maybe it was Anthony Fantano who was like, it's not Pablo Picasso, it's Jackson Pollock, which I guess would go along with the whole disjointed concept. But I think it's interesting that he does have so many partners, and some of the things come out so simple that sounds like he just came up with it. You know what I mean?
But for something like My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, you could feel that, and you feel it works, because there's so many different elements, but they're all...
Elton John apparently even lends his vocals to All of the Lights.
Oh.
Isn't that crazy?
I should go back and listen to that.
Yeah. He loves that song.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. 14, Silver Surfer Intermission.
It's just a skit track.
Yeah.
These are my only notes.
What does that say? Why?
Why?
I agree.
I think it's just, I don't know. I can't explain it well.
Why?
Actually.
Why?
It could have been left off, and no one would have cared.
I mean, there's even a reference to when the album was called Waves. So obviously this is like not even necessary. There's a
Yeah, what
the wave is here, which is a reference to the when
you
it
a
was
wavy
called
dude anyway.
when it was called Waves. So I don't know why they included it. I love that. I do love you, a wavy dude.
Yeah,
I'm gonna start calling people.
You got
now.
the official wave, man.
Gus, you a wavy dude.
We're gonna make a big tsunami up in the joint. Yeah, no, pointless. I think.
Track 15, 30 hours.
I have half a beef with this track.
This is one of my favorite tracks.
Yes, one of my favorite tracks.
I love 30 Hours. My problem with it is the ending part where he starts talking about bonus tracks or whatever.
Oh, yeah, that's kind of weird.
It made me so mad. I was like, what? Like, it was perfect. And then he gets to this part where he's like, I'm just doing this ad-lib track right now.
I thought you'd like that. You like the weird...
But it wasn't a
everything
bonus
like that.
track. And it made me... I was like, this is not a bonus track. What are you talking about?
He probably meant it to be a bonus track.
And that makes me like, it takes me out of it. And I was like, can't deal with it.
And I like the part at the end when he gets a phone call.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd imagine that actually happened. Gabe just called him and he was like, but his ringtone, there's no way his ringtone was that. Like, he has to have like one of his own songs.
Doesn't he have an issue with Apple? One of his own songs.
Does he have an issue with Apple?
Doesn't he have like a problem with Apple? Aren't they like not friends?
I mean,
well, he says Steve Jobs at one point in this album. He's like,
well, the album's not on iTunes, if that says anything.
That's a good point.
But it's also not on anywhere.
Anywhere.
Yeah.
But for me, this song, I wrote, finally, a song with some energy, because the previous few songs were felt kind of unfinished and stripped.
Yeah.
The instrumentation was kind of bare, but this song has a real good energy and beat to it.
I love those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Reminds me of Last Call, the last song on A College Dropout, except it's not 12 minutes long. But really like this one. Has a star.
Oh, nice.
It might be my favorite.
Andre 3000?
Yeah.
Why would you have Andre 3000 on a track and not have him rap? He literally just does a 30 hours.
Oh, yeah.
And you still drove 30 hours.
At this point, why question Kanye?
Fair, but it's upsetting to me because I love Andre 3000.
Gus, you have nothing else to say? You said this is your favorite track.
That's all I have to say.
Okay, that's fine. 16, No More Parties in L.A.
I love
This track's
song.
great.
Another good one.
Yep.
It's just him and Kendi going
Yeah.
to town.
I like when they do the kind of trade-off rap thing.
Yeah.
Like it's in the first one, I think. Like a little lower. Like he does like a little part, and then Kendrick like comes right in and picks it up.
I feel like Kendrick did better than Kanye, though.
I do
on the
too,
song.
actually. Yeah, he wins the song.
Yeah, but this is just like pure lyricism. All up in your face.
Yeah,
I like
it's awesome.
how Kendrick Lamar references the yam.
Yeah,
at
there
one
it is.
point.
Now you want to divide the yam like it equate the math? That shit don't add up.
But also, there's one part I don't understand in Kanye's verse.
Let's find it.
He's like talking about how he's, I guess, like worried all the time, and he's worried about Kim, and he's worried about his daughter. But then he's like, Saint is young Ye, or I don't remember those
There it is,
lyrics
but
exactly.
The saint is baby Ye. I ain't worried about him.
Why aren't you worried about a baby? Because I guess
That's funny.
I don't know. I can't think of why he would say that.
Is this the laptop
Yes,
stealing
he's back.
callback? Where is it? There it is. Even that one that stole the laptop, you dirty
Yeah.
motherfucker.
Yeah, that's great.
Wonder who that is.
Yeah.
Who knows?
This
Finally.
is an awesome song.
Oh,
Not finally.
not finally.
Almost.
Finally, we've come to the second to last track.
The worst track on the
Penultimate.
album.
Do you think so?
I don't like this song at all.
I think if you're counting Silver Surfer is worse. And for me, Freestyle 4 is worse. than
Freestyle 4 is bad.
Facts.
Apparently, like, people have said, like, oh, this was just a joke track. And it's like, I mean, maybe that's the case.
I don't think it was.
There's just so many terrible parts on this song. There's so many. He says Kimoji because she's shutting down the app market or whatever.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I'm gonna be in 2020. I'm gonna run the whole election, referencing his apparent run for president, which I can't imagine happening ever.
Do
Especially if
anybody
you-
feel bad for Bill Cosby?
Do anybody feel bad for Bill Cosby?
Did he forget the names just like Steve Harvey?
Because we all know, according to Kanye, Bill Cosby,
Innocent. Easy. Just jump up and jump it.
Like I don't know if the songs like themselves are recent, but the lyrics certainly must be. I mean, he's referencing Steve Harvey
For facts?
for
this
just
song?
it just seems on like the entire album. It's like these songs were just pieced together in like the last 2-3 months.
So what's interesting is Facts came out way before the album and was supposedly not even supposed to be
it was
on
like
the album.
it was like New Year's or something.
Yeah, and it was not even supposed to be
I'd
included,
believe it.
which- yeah, exactly. To me, it feels like out of place. This is a bonus track, if any of it. First of
Yeah.
all.
I could totally see it as like a bonus
Exactly.
iTunes exclusive track or whatever.
So it was supposed to be, I guess, like, you know, Drake did his Meek Mill diss track or whatever. It was supposed to be that.
Yeah.
But for Nike.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's what I wrote, like,
the other
so
thing.
lame.
It's like
So-
so lame.
This song's about shoes.
yeah. Easy. Just jump up and jump it.
But one thing that was apparent to me that was a pattern through the whole album that I didn't like was I got tired of that silent break where it'd be like, say a line, silent, say a line.
That's what I'm
silent.
talking about. Staccato rap.
Oh, okay.
It's awful.
Like
Yeah.
some new style that
Yeah.
people do.
I don't like it at all. I agree.
Which is interesting because it's not very Kanye. You know, like
I know,
especially-
that's what is frustrating.
It's upsetting that he kind of is taking that on, but what can you do?
Now finally.
Fade lame.
Fade is so boring.
Yeah.
Could have been a great outro.
The bass line is like funny. Andrew likes it.
I like it.
Yeah, there we go. The bass line is hilarious.
Hum it or something. I'm trying to think. It's got like a
What?
it's like ding, ding.
The bass line?
Yeah.
I just
Do you know
wrote
what I'm
hip.
talking- It's hip.
Hip bass line.
And that's how you know it's not hip. Andrew thinks it's hip. Like, I mean, it's not like the worst song in the world.
No, I put a squiggle.
Yeah, I have a sideways face.
I love the sample.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so the bass line is funny, and then I said it reminds me of fucking Omi, the cheerleader guy. That's what it reminds me of.
It's got that dun, dun,
Yeah.
dun, dun.
I need a cheerleader. Or whatever.
Yeah, that's it.
So why do you like the song so much, Andrew?
Got that swinging bass line. I love that sample by Rare Earth. And I don't know.
Oh, that was a Rare Earth sample?
Yeah.
Weird. I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I liked it. Wasn't offensive.
As a closer, I thought it was really underwhelming.
Oh yeah,
That's what was upsetting.
especially the end where it just cuts off.
Yeah.
Yep. Totally agree.
What?
What would be a better last track of the ones?
Out of all these?
Yeah. We could even
That's
put
really
in our
hard.
own custom order.
Silver Surfer. That'd be fun. Silver Surfer intermission as the last track.
Song.
I think it.
Where's the track?
I love
Let's
Kanye would be a funny ending because he has this entire album.
Actually, yes.
and
That's a
then
great idea.
At the end, he's just like, Kanye, like Kanye.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Maybe 30 hours.
30 hours.
30 hours, then I
Again.
love Kanye.
Yeah. Or 30 hours as a callback to last call.
Or maybe even Ultralight Beam.
Oh,
But,
nah. Stick that in
it's
the
a
front.
pretty good opening.
It is a good opening.
It's an amazing opening.
Whoa.
Favorite track?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Ultralight Beam.
It's good.
I think it's very amazing.
Very amazing.
Wait,
Oh
what
my God.
was your favorite track?
I think it's probably 30 hours.
It's my second favorite.
Nice.
And then I really like Feedback, and I really like No More Parties in LA.
Yes.
And Real Friends is good, and I Love Kanye is just kind of funny. And I like parts of Highlights. But other than that, I'm kind of like lukewarm on the album.
Lukewarm. What
Yeah.
about least favorite track? Just definitive one least.
Least
Oh.
favorite.
I don't have one.
Really?
Yeah. A lot of them I group together as just being kind of meh.
Yeah.
It's between Wolves and Facts, but I think I'm
Yeah.
going to go with Facts.
I would agree.
With that being said, there's not like a song that I, with a passion, hate or anything like that. I'd give this album a 3
Out of 5 stars?
out of 5.
That's what I would give it.
Yep, I agree then. Sounds good.
You agree? I thought
Yeah.
I was
You would
figuring
like
that
it
you
more.
really liked it.
Like a 5?
I don't know about 5, but
So
like
if
At
I'm
least
thinking
at
a good way for
3.5.
me to do it is on a 1 out of 10 scale.
yeah.
I would say somewhere between a 7.5 and an 8. So 3.5 then.
Right.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Wow.
I'm
Well-
glad I listened to it though. I'll say that much.
Yeah. It's an experience in its own way, to be
Yes.
honest.
I think we're all Kanye's, you know? We're all Anna's.
all Frankies.
And Frankie's and Kanye's.
Some well-chosen recommendations, actually.
Mhm.
Went well.
Okay.
Well, we have reached the end of our show. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Oh, wait.
Did you forget? Are you
Yes, I
serious?
did.
Okay, well.
Oh, wait.
Because we're doing something we haven't done before, so I jumped the gun.
Don't get too scared.
This is not very scary. We're talking about. So we're doing something a little different. Usually, we all go around at this time and we all pitch another piece of media that we will go out and consume and then review for next episode. Instead, we are picking a single theme that we are all going to collectively consume media about this one person / band, and then we'll come back and do sort of a informative report / series of reviews / whatever it will turn out to be.
Yes.
Anyway, our theme for next episode is Kurt Cobain and Nirvana. Now, I think it's Gus who really wanted to do this, but I'm asking both of you, how did this come about? I forget.
I thought you were the one that suggested it, and then the other suggestion was Traveling Pants,
Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants.
in which we would have to read the novel too, and I'm not
we
reading
watched the
a
movie.
3,000-page novel about the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. I would have watched the movie if that was it, but yeah. So the Kurt Cobain option was like, okay, that's much more appealing to me,
So, my fault on both fronts.
as always. Yeah.
So, the primary media that we're all going to consume are their 3 studio albums, Bleach, Nevermind, and In Utero, in addition to their live album, MTV Unplugged in New York. And I think one reason why Nirvana was in my head was last year, documentary about Kurt Cobain came out called Montage of Heck, which also had an accompanying soundtrack album, which apparently is horrible.
Yeah, should we listen to that too?
If you can.
Okay.
Apparently, I think I told Gus, but it's like they really scraped the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah.
And there's like jokes about, oh, they just have a recording of him making fart sounds, and they really do.
It's on Tidal if you want to listen to it.
Oh yeah,
every month.
We do have that free month from Pablo. So, yes, we haven't done anything like this before, so we're still working out the kinks, but I think it'll turn out to be something really, really cool and worth doing in the future. Let us know what you think by emailing us, wheelhousecast@gmail.com. You can also like our Facebook page, facebook.com/wheelhousecast, and follow us on Twitter, at wheelhousecast. And also, we're on iTunes. Please subscribe, rate, and review us. Still only one review. I don't know what you guys are doing.
Whoops. Forgot about that.
And Sterling, plugs for you.
I got a plug. Yeah.
Yep.
This is 2 Wednesdays from today, which is
March
the day
9th.
we're recording it. This is March 9th. And I don't know if you had the chance, but on March 4th, my band, The Happier Whites' new EP came out. So if you still haven't downloaded it, go do that because it's free. Totally worth it.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're for some reason listening to this and you haven't done it, do that. Thanks.
Awesome. Gus, any plugs?
No.
No.
All right. Well, we have reached the end of episode 6, which
Wow.
feels weird
That
because
does
we
feel weird.
did stack up, so it's like we're in the future, kind of.
Yeah.
But
Feels like we just started 6 episodes.
time flies.
Well,
Like 2 months, basically.
What are you talking about? We started February 1st,
Yeah.
and then
It doesn't feel like we've been doing it that long.
and then it's the 29th. So
Yeah,
we're still in
it's a leap day that
inaugural
throws you
month.
off, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the
Leap
thing.
day.
Yes. And hopefully we'll be around for another leap day.
Or maybe episode 7.
Yes.
Another leap day. Oh my
yeah.
God, that's a bit too much
10
foresight.
years.
Well, thank you, Sterling. Thank you, Gus.
Thanks,
You're
Andrew.
welcome.
Oh, man.
My name is Andrew. Reminding you to keep it wheel.